Hello everybody and welcome to the first lesson in our summer term series of lessons for vocabulary in EYFS. At St Bartholomew's we follow the Rising Stars scheme of learning for vocabulary, and each week this will mean introducing a set of words for your child to focus on. As with each week, our focus words today will include words that your child might know already, words that they have heard but they don't know the definition for, or words that they have never come across and that are designed to stretch their vocabulary. The first thing I'm going to do is to introduce those words. Magic, tricked, problem, beautiful, enormous, chopped, suddenly, strange. Are there any words here that you've heard before? Probably quite a few of them. Are there any words here that you've heard before and that you can give a definition for? That means you can tell your adult at home what that word means. It might help to try to put the word into a sentence. Adults, you might want to pause this video now so you can spend longer talking about each word with your child. When you're ready, press play and we'll move on to the definitions. So let's look at the definitions. I'm sure you were able to think of many definitions yourself with your adults at home. Magic. Something that doesn't normally happen. You can't explain it. Tricked. Someone has played a joke on you and it happened in the past. Problem. An issue that needs addressing. Beautiful. Something enjoyable to experience. Enormous. Very large. Chopped. Cut something down. Again, this happened in the past. It's in the past tense. Suddenly. Something happens quickly. Strange. Unfamiliar, unusual, odd. This might be another time, adults, when you want to pause the video to go back over some of the words with your child. I'm going to read you a story, and it's a story that you might know quite well already. It's the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. When we're reading this story, we're going to look out for some of our focus words this week. The story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack. He lived with his mother, and they were very poor. All they had in the world was one cow. One morning, Jack's mother told him to take their cow to the market to sell her. On the way to the market, Jack met a strange man. He offered him some magic beans in exchange for the cow. Jack took the beans and went back home. When Jack's mother saw the beans, she was very angry and said, "You have been tricked," and threw the beans out of the window. The next morning, Jack looked out of the window. There was a giant beanstalk reaching far up into the sky. Jack decided he could solve the problem if he went outside and climbed up the beanstalk. He climbed up to the sky and through the clouds, where he saw a beautiful castle, and went inside. Once inside, he heard a voice. "Fee, fi, fo, fum," it bellowed. Jack hid under the table and peeped out. An enormous giant came into the room and sat down. On the table, Jack could see a hen and a golden harp. "Lay," said the giant. The hen laid an egg. The egg was made of gold. "Sing," said the giant. The harp began to sing. Soon the giant fell asleep. Jack jumped up and left the castle. On his way he took the hen and the harp. Suddenly the harp sang, "Help, master!" With this the giant woke up and shouted, "Fee, fi, fo, fum." Jack ran and started climbing down the beanstalk. The giant came down after him. The boy shouted, "Mummy, help!" Luckily, Jack's mother heard him. She took an axe and chopped down the beanstalk. The giant fell and crashed to the ground. Nobody ever saw him again. With the golden eggs and the magic harp, Jack and his mother were never poor again and lived happily ever after. Was that story the same as other versions you've heard of Jack and the Beanstalk? How is it the same and how is it different? If you need more time to discuss the story, you could pause the video now. In that story, we heard lots of our focus words for this week. Can you think about each of the words on our list? And you might want to look at the list in the home learning overview and see if you can remember when and how it was used in this story. When you're ready, we can then move on to one final question. Can you use the words of the week in your own sentences or even to write your own story? I'd really love to hear them, so you can send them to me through Class Dojo when you've written it. Here's a reminder for your stories or for your sentences of what our focus words are. Magic, tricked, problem, beautiful, enormous, strange, chopped, suddenly. You might want to pause this video so that you can look at this screen as you're talking about and writing your sentences and writing your stories. When you're finished, you can close the video. Have a lovely day.